Hello, this is Alfred Brock, and I'm going to be talking to you about Oxycontin. Okay, Oxycontin, abusers beware. We got this pamphlet here from DWMHA, and that is the Detroit Wayne Mental Health Authority. So there it is right there. And if you're in Southeast Michigan, you can ring them up at 1-800-241-4949 and find them at this website address. That's www.dwmha.com, okay, to talk to them, Southeast Michigan. But this information about Oxycontin is relative or important to everyone, everywhere. And let's read through the pamphlet that we have gotten here. And we're going to start up with Pumped Up Oxycodone. Pumped Up Oxycodone. Oxycodone is a cousin of morphine, a drug used for severe pain relief and abused by addicts. Okay, so morphine has been abused by addicts for almost 200 years. Way longer than that in some parts of the world. In the past, oxycodone has been sold under the brand names Percodan, Percocet, and Tylox. A newer brand, Oxycontin, has a larger dose of oxycodone in a time-released coating. Someone can take up to 80 milligrams of oxycodone in one dose, which enters the bloodstream gradually over 12 hours. Other brands of oxycodone have about 5 milligrams per pill, so patients need more pills more often. The time-release coating, which makes Oxycontin convenient for real patients, is what oxy abusers see as the problem with this particular drug. Drug abusers can be creative. Whoever first decided to abuse Oxycontin learned how to get around the timed release and got a large dose of oxycodone all at once. That person taught other drug abusers how to do it, and an epidemic was born. Okay, this is one aspect of the opioid epidemic. It's really terrible. The information that people share to hurt each other. It would be nice if we shared information to help each other, right? So let's get on with this. It's a killer by any name. It says it right there, killer by any name. And these are some of the names that we're going to be hearing in just a moment. Oxycontin can be called Oxycontin, or Oxy-80s. And it's got a lot of other different names. Oxycontin is also called hillbilly heroin. Isn't that terrible? Because its effects are similar to heroin's, and it is commonly abused in rural areas. So that's terrible, and it's actually being abused all across the United States, in Canada, and other countries, and all around the world. So it's terrible. People also call it poor man's heroin, because some people's health insurance gets them the drug free or cheap with a doctor's prescription. However, it becomes extremely expensive, both monetarily and in personal cost, to the individual that's using it, and the family and friends of those, and even the community around them, of the person that is unfortunately abusing this material. Opioids in the brain. Opioid drugs come originally from opium, which is extracted from the opium poppy. They include, among other things, opium, heroin, morphine, hydrocodone, codeine, and oxycodone. Opioids produce relaxation, calm, and a sense of well-being in many people. Some people are allergic to them. Opioids bind rapidly to opioid receptors in the brain. They alter the limbic system, which controls emotions, and they then block pain messages from the spinal cord to the body. As depressants, opioids slow body functions like breathing, heart rate, and digestion. It is very dangerous to use these in the first place. They are essentially a poison used for one specific purpose, which was to eliminate or reduce pain. Using them at any time is extremely dangerous. Using them with alcohol or combined with other drugs is even more dangerous. It is not recreational. It is a dangerous, dangerous situation to put your body in. Oxycontin in the body. Common side effects of Oxycontin abuse are constipation, nausea, vomiting, sleepiness, lack of interest in things that one normally had interest in, dizziness, itching, headache, dry mouth, sweating, and weakness. So if you're seeing someone exhibiting some of those things in your personal life, maybe a few questions or a few positive remarks about getting help, go back to talk to that doctor. Maybe you don't need that pain medication. It's up to the individual. Withdrawal from Oxycontin. When abusers try to quit using Oxycontin, they face a new enemy. It's withdrawal. And withdrawal, opioid withdrawal here is listed as being horrible. About 6 hours after the last dose, the abuser has abdominal cramps, nausea, diarrhea, anxiety, insomnia, sweating, runny nose, and eyes. Not everybody gets this. Not everybody gets it in the same level, okay? And one of the things that's used to get people to continue to use it is this fear that you're going to have to go through this. But keep in mind, you go through it the once if you stop using them into the future. You go through it the once and you're done with it. Some people need to do it several times because they fall back into the habit of using it, back with the same people, back in the same situations, and continue to use it. Oxy's legacy. The legacy of OxyContin addiction is devastating. Oxy causes addiction quickly because, like all opioids, it mimics the body's natural pain and stress relievers, the endorphins, in the brain, spinal cord, and body. The body gets used to high levels of the drug, and the addict needs more of it to feel the same effects. So they get a tolerance for this poison. That's when oxy addicts hit the streets. That's when they start getting it from maybe filling out false scripts, maybe buying them filling out false prescriptions, buying them on the street, getting them from friends, stealing them from friends and family, or stealing them. They need a lot of cash fast because now, if before it was the cheap man's heroin, right? Listen to this strange terminology and vocabulary. It's the poor man's heroin. It's the hillbilly heroin, right? It's for people that don't have much money. But all of a sudden now, you don't have the prescriptions, and this stuff costs a lot of money. And it does. OxyContin addicts pawn their things and turn to robbery, forgery, and prostitution to get money. Heroin can be a less expensive choice than OxyContin, so addicts often switch to heroin at that point. As people tell them, hey, you got this cheaper one, right? Wait, didn't they just tell us it was the poor man's heroin? See? The whole thing is just bad. It's just bad. It's best not to get involved with it in the first place, but to get away from it is very, very good if you get stuck in it. So the most oxy overdose, let's listen to that. The most serious risk of OxyContin abuse is overdose. Someone doesn't have to be a repeat user in order to overdose on oxy. Any recreational user of OxyContin is a gamble. It's a gamble with the life. One dose can have adverse effects if the person is unaware of how opioids affect them, or what other drugs they're using, or what kind of physical state they're in at that time. Now, symptoms of opioid overdose include pinpoint pupils, very slow heart rate, slow, shallow breathing, noticeably low body temperature, seizures, and coma. The blue lips and blue fingernail tips can give it away too. If not treated in a hospital immediately, people overdosing on opioids die of respiratory depression. It's like drowning in the air. It is a horrible way to die. Since OxyContin was introduced in 1996, deaths related to oxycodone have increased 100%. And emergency room visits have increased 400%. Those numbers are not understated. Real pain relief. Now, recreational use of any drug is dangerous. They're not recreational. Some of them are poisons that are administered for certain specific reasons. And then you're supposed to not take them anymore because they're poison, okay? And opioids are one of them. Now, using any drug is dangerous for recreational use. With OxyContin or any of the opioids, it's begging for trouble. It's up to 16 times as strong as similar medications OxyContin is, and up to 16 times, therefore, as deadly. If someone offers you oxy, say no, thank you. Forget about it and get out of there as quickly as you can. It may sound like, just say no, but hey, just say no. Stay away from the drugs and the people that use and sell them. You need to take care of yourself first so you can take care of your family and friends. The unintended consequences, let's learn about them. OxyContin's manufacturers never imagined that abusers would have their teeth pulled to get the drug. But wait, did they? We're not going to talk about that in this episode. We're just going to say, well, wait, did they? Okay, they never thought someone would take medical records and get in a wheelchair for a prescription. Wait, let's say that again. But wait, did they? It never occurred to them that a father high on drugs would share some with its teenage son, killing him. But wait, did they? But all of these things have happened. OxyContin has that kind of power over people. Now, we also have to include the dealers in them because there's people in between here And the doctors that may be prescribing unprofessionally, they're doing the best job they can, right? But if they're getting tricked, there's a very, very wide area of responsibility here that we must pinpoint. Oxycontin is a brand name for oxycodone. It's a highly effective pain reliever prescribed for moderate to severe pain from surgery, chronic diseases like multiple sclerosis, or acute diseases like cancer. Patients have been receiving oxycodone prescriptions, and others have been abusing oxycodone for many years. Just as soon as it came out, someone figured out how to abuse it. Oxycontin stands out because people receive a high dose, time-released, in a single pill. People who can hardly get out of bed because of pain need serious pain relief. But taking strong medications 4 to 6 times a day can cause awful side effects. For example, you can get used to taking it, right? Oxycontin allows patients to take the most drugs only twice a day and avoid most side effects. However, after time, the body, even if you're in severe pain and you're taking the medication, the opioids, please keep this in mind. And you're taking the medications, even though you're in severe pain, that doesn't stop you from getting dependent upon it or addicted to it. Like all opioid drugs, oxycodone produces relaxation. For someone without pain, the drugs also produce, perhaps, a brief feeling of euphoria, which is the happiness and well-being. They feel good for a little bit, right? All right, but not long. Drug abusers chase this high at first, but later that becomes secondary for the body's need to have this chemical in it to proceed normally through life, to be able to sleep regularly, to be able to go to the bathroom, to talk to other people. And of course, they're not, even though they seem to be normal at that point where they get back to getting well, they call it, they're still not operating at the optimum level that they could if they didn't have the poison in their body at all. Oxycontin abusers are like any other drug addicts and become slaves to that particular drug or group of drugs or behaviors. The advantages that Oxycontin brings to patients with intense pain have had the unintended consequence of creating thousands, hundreds of thousands of drug addicts. Now I'm going to invite you to go to inthenozone.com. There it is. Can you read that? inthenozone.com to learn more about this. Okay? Don't stay in the dark. Get in the know. And I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to wish you a happy and healthy life and a wonderful week. Bye-bye.